All right, welcome back, Valpo, to another NECC match. This week, you guys are tuning in to see the Valpo League of Legends versus the Illinois Institute of Technology Scarlet Hawks. I'm Monsieur Adam, and joining me in the booth is
Henry Speedy Kill Ninja. So excited matchup here today, week 2 of Valpo League of Legends, looking to bounce back after that week 1 defeat. But hopping right into the draft, I believe couple NECC champion updates. Syndra is now available, who wasn't available in week 1, so that's big for Valpo. So we'll see if it gets through in game 1 here.
I was gonna say, if you're a Valpo fan, you love to see it because especially Jakimbo.
Wow. I know Jake Dreadful is very happy.
Yes, very happy with two of his
Two
picks.
first round top lane bans is crazy.
But this does open the door for Valpo to have Valpo to have the first choice here. So we could expect to see one of those really highly contested picks. We could see an Aurora pick here again. Generally a decent flex between mid and top. Um, and other than that, though, I'm trying to think of any other super high priority picks,
I
but they
don't
aren't.
I don't hate this approach by Illinois Tech here. Kind of deciding that hey, like Chikimbo can play a lot of different champions at a very high level. So like let's focus our energy elsewhere.
And with that being said, we're going to see that Valpo
Oh,
is going to end up choosing the Aurora pick, and Illinois Tech is going to hover Mel. Also, for those some other champion updates for NECC this week, Mel is now live for players, and Callista is disabled. There's a high impact bug with her base skin. NACC decided that to not make it feel pay to win, all Calista will be offline until it sounds like 15.1.4. But with that being said, Illinois Tech is going to lock in the Mel, and we're also going to see the driver in the fourth here. Kind of also starting to lock out a lot of looks like contested picks between Valpo and Illinois Tech here, as we know that both I believe Super Bear is playing in this first game, driving the fourth. This is kind of one of his staples.
yeah, so I'm going to see a first time Mel. Something I'm not too familiar with. Does have quite an interesting mechanic that was introduced to League, being able to reflect abilities, not only stop them but reflect them. And you know that J4 definitely a staple pick for Super Bear, but an even more synonymous pick with Super Bear is going to be that Zac. So that mid jungle combo going to be locked in for Valpo as well. But we'll see what they pick up here. Likely going to be an ADC if I had to guess. Couple different options here. Could be, oh, okay, Rakan.
Another comfort pick for Valpo. And we are gonna see the Thresh response. I know that Vepo was talking about the potential of facing into this Thresh, and just trying to find a decent combo. The only thing here is I think with the Mel pick, I think we might be seeing that Aurora go topside.
Oh, that is true. That's
But
possible.
because the Mel can't block Aurora alt, but Mel's W can reflect the Q and the E, and since Aurora kind of depends on that for a really good three-hit burst combo, um, that might force Dreadful into taking Aurora, which would mean that. But we also now see that we have two engages, both the Zac and the Rakan. So it kind of does free up. It does free up top lane that if they need to go more, if Dreadful needs to go more damage, we will see that.
Yeah, and they just keep throwing bans at the top lane. I will say one thing is that Mel I'm just not very familiar with at all as a champion, other than their ability to reflect abilities that their AP mage. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of goes. I don't know how much experience or how much you know about Mel, this new champion.
I mean, I've seen Mel in action a few times. Again, I've had I think exactly one game of experience on her. She definitely feels strong, and I know that Riot in general feels the same way. As after this, at the next patch is actually going to see a pretty significant amount of nerfs heading Mel's way. And I know something we were talking about here is if we're going to see Mel, we're going to see Mel in 15.1.3, and after that, Mel might kind of go by the wayside for a little bit, as it looks like those nerfs will be pretty significant, at least from what's been rumored. But Valpo and Illinois Tech are going to finish up their ban phases here. We're going to
Good.
see the Zaya and the Mbessa from Valpo again, getting rid of yet another top lane pick from Dreadful.
Yep.
And Scarlet Hawks going a total of 4 for 5 of their bans, all towards Dreadful in the top lane.
I was kind of surprised we did ban Mbessa because I feel like that's one of Dreadful's picks there, and he's kind of running out of options here. Um, Gonna have to search deep in his bag for something, and I'm expecting a Darius here against a Cassante, something that's very strong right now in lane. Um, are gonna pick up the Ezreal, going to give Dreadful some more time to think this one through, but in an interesting scenario, there's not a lot of great top laners in his pool that kind of fits in this scenario. And as a top laner, you don't really, I would never, if I were coaching this team, I would never have my top laner like a pool of 5, 6 champions is plenty, but he's going to have to really dig down deep and find something to play here.
I was gonna say even now that we were talking with Ezreal, I was
I completely forgot about Aatrox.
and I maybe hopefully
Been a
and
while.
it has been. It is going again. It is going to be a little bit worried about that tank battle. Oh, and it's actually going to be a
Oh,
Mel
shocker.
ADC. Going to be a Mel ADC APC, which is or it could be. Illinois Tech still has about 10 seconds left to lock in their final choices. They're hovering Talia and Cassiopeia, and they're choosing between the two, determining on who is going to be more favorable. And it looks like that Cassiopeia is going to go through. So this turned out to be a lot more interesting of a
Yeah.
draft than I think
So
we
if I
originally
didn't
thought.
see that initial hover, I would think that Cassiopeia was going to be the APC, but now I'm kind of conflicted. So we'll end up seeing what's actually going to happen after the break here because I don't know.
This is
Very
this.
interesting draft.
I was gonna say very interesting draft. I'm not opposed to an interesting draft. It makes us in the booth um, kind of theorize the game. But with that being said, what do you think? What do you think is the? What are we looking for here? What's Valpo's win condition?
I mean, I say this pretty much every time I'm in the booth, but I think the mid jungle combo is like a super important aspect to focus on early in this game. Bot lane for Valpo, I believe that is the strongest area for Illinois Tech is their ADC bot combo. So we have Ezreal, we have a safer pick. We're gonna want to see Rakan rotate around, play for other lanes in the map, and that's typically what Valpo likes to do is play towards that grubs, play towards that top side. Because Ezreal, if they're going 1v2, it's not the worst scenario. If you're going to have to be put in that scenario, Ezreal's probably the best champ to do it. But yeah, I think that mid combo and then having this Rakan work with the jungle as well, and look for plays around the map to get this team comp going.
I was gonna say I'm definitely looking forward once again to seeing the mid and jungle work together. We've been also seeing a lot of DNM's really been able to kind of keep consistent with a lot of other a lot higher tier, especially on like their ranks that we've been seeing the past
Yep.
few weeks. Going against GMs, Diamonds, and even I think a Masters player last week. And Diedo's been able to start holding off his own.
I
Uh,
think we got another GM today. So I mean, that's like top 500 NA.
Yeah, just a few people. But with that, we're just gonna go quickly into the starting lineup for Valpo here. We are going to be seeing Dreadful in the top lane, Super Bear in the jungle, Kimbo in the mid lane, and then Diadem and the Law rounding it out in the bot lane. So with that being said, Beacons, we are going to head into a quick break here as we prepare for game one of week two of the NECC, Valpo versus Indiana Tech, Scarlet Hawks University. We will catch you in just a few minutes, and we will be right back.
And we are back with game 1 of Valpo. League of Legends NECC Week 2 versus Illinois Institute of Technology here. So Valpo going to be on the blue side for this game. 5 pointing for both teams. Pretty slow off the bat.
And again, just continuing to look at.
Minions have spawned.
Taking a look at the starting items here, do have Dorans across the board and the support items, but also the green jungle items for both junglers. And also Zach picking up that health pot. I'm actually a fan of not picking up a health pot, having that extra 50 gold, but does provide you with the extra HP if needed for that first gank, just to have a little extra early prio.
The little bit of extra oomph.
Both junglers starting on the top side here, anticipating a full clear for Valpo, and for J4 could look a 3 camp into top, 3 camp into mid, or just opt for a full clear. But J4 having that 3 camp is going to hit level 2 and could pretty much gank any lane that they would like. So definitely keep an eye on that. And for Zach, I would anticipate a full clear, but also, could look mid if they really wanted to. But it's really ideal to hit level 3.
Hit level 3 first before that gank happens. With that being said, we are going to see that Mel is going to continue to start throwing out Qs, kind of starting to be a little bit oppressive towards Diadem, and specifically that execute on her Q being effective towards minions is also pretty big. We are going to see that Dreadful is going to be having a slight skirmish with Cassante. Both of them just trading a few blows, nothing more, nothing less. Jakimbo up tiny bit of CS in the top lane, but again, it's too early to fully determine who's winning. But with the camera panning in that direction, we are going to be able to see that Jakimbo is going to be up both health and mana resources compared to the Cassiopeia here. We're hearing some pings come in. It looks like from Thresh, looking like to start gaining more control of vision, trying to prevent potential gank from Super Bear.
This Mel just getting a lot of poke off early game. He's about halfway through their mana, but Jakimbo a lot more poke, actually chunking out this Cassiopeia quite low. Nice dodge for the Thresh.
Oh, and Diadem and the Law gain a lot of damage out. We're going to see that the Ignite does go off by Thresh, but it's not going to be able to find anyone. Law is going to be a decent bit low, but that does mean that Valpo does regain priority of this wave for the time being.
Unfortunately, this is warded, and Zach may get collapsed on here by the J4, but is able to jump out in time. Let's have this ward. Will he get hooked? The hook has landed.
He's going to get hooked. Rakan, we're going to see Rakan go in. That stun is going to, and unfortunately, the Law is going to fall here, and it is going to be in the skirmish. We're going to see that a mid, that Jakimbo was able to get a kill on mid, but unfortunately, Diadem does fall to that skirmish in the river in that brush.
Yeah, so Scarlet only needing one more kill to get that first feat of the 3 kills there. Jakimbo was able to pick up a nice kill, and looks like they exchanged flashes as well. Unfortunately, Mel got off a lot of damage by Ezreal throwing skill shots at the Mel and then her just reflecting them back. But J4 always going to be stronger on that first scuttle versus Zach, and when they had that vision, they were just able to collapse on him and get a double kill off of it for them.
Yep, definitely seeing that driving forth is going to start being a little bit more accelerated. So Valpo just needing to be careful there and respecting the 700 gold that did go his way. Other than that, though, again, we're going to see that Jakimbo is going to start making his usual dominance over mid lane here, which will be really nice for Valpo to have priority, as we are going to see the first round of objectives coming up. We have a Mountain Dragon, and we're going to see first Void Grubs up in about 45 seconds. Now continuing to land a few Qs and be oppressive, actually not being able to find anything right there, but Valpo now just Valpo really have to be cautious about a really good timed Mel Reflect W, which would see that Diadem or Law taking a decent bit of damage from their own attacks.
We have J4 working down here, does have that pink ward, and no wards up for Valpo, so could definitely come in, and they are going to find that Lantern Flash Fillet in a very good combo by Scarlet, but Valpo was able to escape in great reaction time by them.
And yeah, even great reaction time, and even more so the fact that just looking for potential to get a play. Thresh does have his Ignite back online, but his Flash is now unavailable for a possible team fight around
He doesn't
objectives.
have Hex Flash either, so that's actually quite big.
Just leaving Valpo open for more plays, especially if there's a decent team fight. Again, seeing Dreadful just chipping away at Cassante, not being able to find much damage here, but just continuing to maintain a pretty consistent CS.
You have Zach on the Void Grubs here, looking to claim it. Looks like it's going to go uncontested, so he was able to capture all three. So first objective going to Valpo, and he's actually going to work his way up top lane and maybe find a potential gank on the Cassante, or maybe just...
Oh, we're going to see that Jakimbo is going to commit. Jakimbo is going to find a kill here. Needs to escape from Jarvan the Fourth, and actually is going to be able to, and actually start poking out the Jarvan the Fourth, which is absolutely huge if you're a Valpo fan. Seeing Jakimbo starting to get ahead, and I think actually with that slight skirmish is going to slow down the fight. We are actually going to see that Thresh and Mel have roamed up towards mid lane, which I think is just going to see that Jakimbo is going to be forced to back reset. So this could mean that Illinois Tech or Scarlet is going to be able to start this objective here. And it does look like that Valpo is just going to give Dragon here in preparation for trying to push waves and reset of their own.
Yep, so in Illinois Tech, able to trade objectives, able to find that Dragon. Next objectives, you got Void Grubs in 3 minutes, and then this Dragon should be spawned in 5 minutes as well.
And we are going to see that it is going to be a Cloud Dragon here. So the potential up for some really interesting ones. Hopefully, especially in the booth, especially with all the flowers that we've seen, Infernal at this point now kind of adds a lot of different items to the map. Cassiopeia is going to not be in wave anymore. She is going to start placing vision in Seaver's jungle here. And I think it does look like that Mel and Thresh are going to be able to take are going to take a turret plating in the bot lane. Or actually, that turret plating is holding on. That turret plating is holding on. But that is going to be level 6 for Diadem, and the Law will be close. Jakimbo, I think, is looking to try to be a little bit more oppressive here, doing half damage with one round of his ability here. Just trying to continue to widen his gap in mid lane. We do see that Cass is also around. Oh, and Cass is going to get caught here. Jakimbo is going to be able to put her combo, and that is actually going to be the Feat of Warfare claimed for Valpo. First team to get 3 kills here. We are going to see the ult though come out from Cassante. Dreadful is going to have to play around as Dreadful is going to ult himself, and it does look like that they are going to trade ults here. Dreadful trying to find some more damage. Dreadful actually doing a lot of damage here, as a lot of all Cassante's armor is converted just into raw damage. Super Bear is on Mel here, looking to do a lot of damage. Thresh is going to fall to Diadem, and that's going to be a really successful positioning by Super Bear here. Just continuing to start that oppression onto Illinois Tech here, as Valpo is going to be up around a 1K gold lead.
Yeah, Valpo really able to turn around here, finally reclaim this gold lead, and that's huge in part to Super Bear. Was able to find that kill in the mid lane with the help from Jakimbo, and was able to head to the bot lane and find another one on this Thresh, and Jakimbo does so much damage already to this Cassiopeia. I feel like Aurora's, I don't know if it's overtuned, but the only time I watch Aurora is when Jakimbo plays her, and like he just does a ton of damage. So I'm not sure if it's like Jakimbo just being too good and overtuned, or if it's Aurora, but something needs to change to balance this game.
I always feel like in my games that I'm playing, I don't play Aurora, but I can see Aurora being played, and she doesn't seem as strong as when Jakimbo's piloting.
Fight breaking out here.
But Jakimbo's going to pilot here, and is actually going to be able to save the Cassiopeia here. Jakimbo is going to go 1-for-1 here. The charm is going to go off. The Law is trying to find something here. Valpo does just need to back off here. Jakimbo needs to be careful, as he is going to get punished for overextending. It does look like that Mel is going to try to save. Mel is going to ult, and that is going to find the Law Valpo having a good play at the start, but Kimbo really didn't have any reason to continue up there and try to. I understand he was trying to poke for a little bit more damage, but that was exactly what Illinois Tech was looking for, as they are able to make a positive play on this and start getting themselves. Illinois Tech is going to start using this to hopefully get back in the game.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate there. I think Valpo really wanted to kind of like go back into the fight because they wanted this 6 scrub so bad. We see how bad Dreadful wants it as he goes in to 4 people. Team does join him and finds the shutdown on J4, has that ult available, so should start healing quite a bit. Zach has passive available as he's the only member low for Valpo. And a huge fight for Valpo as they're able to pick up the Thresh and the Cassante. And Mel is next here, does flash away. And it looks like they're able to get out. But big play for Valpo. I believe they were able to get 5 of the 6 scrubs there. And that's going to be big. Although Cassiopeia picks up some plates, Diadem able to trade some back. But Valpo will be up 2k gold now.
And again, I was going to say a little bit of a risky play there from the side of Valpo, especially seeing that it was a 2v4 to start off with, but Super Bear and Dreadful both actually having amazing communication on who to target prioritize, and seeing that trust with each other, knowing that if one of them is going to go in, the other one is also going to go in and make some heavy work happen. So really good communication to see on the side of Valpo here.
I mean, if you think about it, Mel had ult down, J4 had ult down. A lot of those big ultimates and resources were used in the mid lane. And, you know, Zach had passive available when engaging on that fight. Dreadful is playing Aatrox with ult up. Like, you usually are just going to heal back to full health when you get low anyways.
Oh, we are going to see Mel is going to throw W. Ezreal is going to find some extra damage here. Zach is going to slow down Mel. Thresh is going to try to find something, but DNF is able to find the laser of his Q and absolutely send Mel back to spawn for 20 seconds.
You said it before the game, but the way that Diadem has been able to hang in with these very strong players in the bot lane is just so impressive. I mean, he's got a better KDA now, or, well, I guess he's got a similar KDA, similar CS, and has just done really well getting through this laning phase. Despite that difference in rank.
Goes to show sometimes that rank is not all that it's made out to be. But don't tell me that as I'm in the middle of my rank queues for the week, because I will tell you otherwise.
Yep, definitely shows how teamwork, communication can ultimately overcome that.
With this being said, here it is about 13 minutes. We are going to see that it's Hextech Dragon here, allowing for faster movement speed by both parties when they get back to objectives and high value areas better. We're actually going to see a potential 2v3 here. Super Bear was backing, but he is going to decide to stop trying to hover. But I think the Super Bear is just going to realize that it probably has an item or at least some significance backing base here, and it is just worth it for him to go and Sunfire Aegis and a cloak. Just being able to be big, a big power spike for him, specifically in terms of defense and by proxy offensiveness. We are going to see that there are going to be some pings coming up from Illinois Tech here. Super is going to be in his jungle, is going to start getting caught out here. We see that the loss coming in. Ezreal trying to do some damage, and it is actually going to allow Super to get his objective. We are going to see the reflect on Mel is going to be used here. So for the next about 25 seconds, Valpo does not have to worry about a potential ability reflect.
It's quite a long basic ability cooldown.
It is. It's like that. It's like the Renata W, the bailout. Really pretty balanced actually with the amount of cooldown.
Yeah, that is, a deserved cooldown for sure.
Especially the fact that Melt W makes you go. You go invulnerable during that phase. It's not just you're immune to projectiles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's like a Kale ult that reflects.
Yeah, it's a Kale ult that reflects. But it's only
crazy.
It is, and it's interesting. I want to get better so I can fully utilize that W, but I also know that because the thing is, Kale ult is 2.5 seconds. It's the same as Zanya's.
Yeah, well, Kale ult's a little different because you can put it on other people and it does damage at the end of it, and it's attached to a Kale. a little different. But regardless, I mean that. Honestly, hats off to Riot. My Twitter feed has not been just people complaining about Mill, which means they've done a phenomenal job at trying to balance introducing this new mechanic. Because League players typically not a huge fan of change, and that is like a potential game-breaking change.
Yeah, I definitely know. I definitely know that she was a lot stronger on like release. She had I think a 53% win rate,
Like
which
the beta, like pre-release,
no,
or
like day one like live
oh,
launch. And so everyone realized that she was in fact
oh no,
overpowered.
had to get that hot fixed.
Yeah, give the hot fix,
But
but right knowing what to do here.
Valpo up 2K now. Gold is pretty evenly dispersed throughout the member of Valpo, where a lot of the gold for Illinois Tech is actually focused on this J4, on this Mel. And Cassiopeia 0-4, but actually doing a pretty solid job picking up these plates and CSing. So probably not quite as far behind as you would suspect. But Valpo able to pick up Rift Herald and claim another objective. And you know what our feats counter are at now?
I don't actually, because I was about to ask. Oh, Valpo has feats.
Oh, must have missed that, but that is a big thing to overlook.
Because oh yeah, it was the three of it was. I no, I think they just got it with it didn't pop up with Rift Herald because they got the feat of warfare. The first tower has now just been broken, and so they were able to get first Void Grubs. They got a dragon, and they were able to get Rift Herald. So I think when they got Rift Herald, because there's only 5 Void Grubs available, we could see that. The nice way to tell is the little indicators on the boots on Valpo's side.
Gotcha. But that Rift Herald usage, pretty big there, cracking that mid-tier 1 and a lot on the mid-tier 2. And Valpo, you know, up 2K gold here and feel like they're in a great spot and in control of this game. A lot of their players do have a bit of a shutdown here too, so got to watch out for that. But next objective will be spawning in 20 seconds with the Hextech Dragon.
We are gonna see that neither team. We are gonna see though that Illinois Tech is gonna start having the vision advantage, but they aren't gonna have the man. They aren't gonna have the man advantage, being able to control that vision lead, which does mean that Valpo does look like to have priority here, taking this dragon here, especially the fact that Jarvan is looks like to be just poaching Super Rare's camps. It does look like that they are just gonna decide to trade, trying to get ahead in other lanes, for Valpo to take this dragon, especially with that Cassiopeia back.
Yep, able to pick up some of Valpo's camps in the top side, and hopefully for them look for a dive on Dreadful. Well, that would be quite difficult.
Yep, Dreadful does need to be careful here. Ping's coming out from the side of Illinois Tech here. Dreadful popping ultimate is gonna dash. If the Threshold not being able to find anyone, and Valpo is actually gonna be able to get that dragon for an Aatrox ultimate.
A Gromp and an Aatrox ultimate. And some vision.
Don't
want to discredit them too much.
That 100% correct. With that being said, however, it's a minute off of our next objective, which is going to be Ruinous, I believe, Otacon, in the top lane. Maybe Henry can attest, but I can never fully remember the difference between which each one is called.
Me neither. I just call him Otacon.
Oh, and that's done.
Oh,
And
nice
that's
play by the Cassiopeia there.
Nice
Able to
play
pick
by
up one on Drakimbo, but do have Super Bear getting engaged on here, going to E, going to ult, and we do have a member of Valpo. I believe that is the wall, in quite deep as well. Passive going to be popped for Zach, and is likely going to drop here, and Diadem just going to throw. Wall was able to escape, but a 0 for 2 for Valpo, and I believe one of those must have been a shutdown, at least on Super Bear. So very well played by Cassiopeia on the turret dive defense there, as well as a nice TP over and good team recognition, able to regroup for that one. So Valpo only going to be up 1k gold now, but luckily for Valpo, no major objectives. You know, the waves were shoved out, so not going to lose any turrets either. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge loss, but quite a bit unfortunate.
100% agree again. Valpo forced that fight in the bot side, which forces everyone that you're gonna have to spend time to get back up in order to get that objective. However, we are gonna see that Cassiopeia is going to
Okay, I
break.
lied. They did get a turret.
They did get a turret, which is gonna actually make the gold lead pretty even here. Valpo needing to tighten up the amount of stuff that they're doing, especially the positioning, which is what allowed Cassiopeia to get that. But with that being said, actually, we are going to have excuse the game for 1 second, as it does look like that there might be a disconnection from someone on the team here.
Not on the camera.
I'm not on the camera. Let me fix that problem real fast.
But yeah, tied up in gold. We're actually exactly dead even in gold right now. I know you guys can't see the scoreboard, but really exciting game here in game 1 in this best of 3 series, NECC week 2 versus Illinois Tech. We're going to head to a short break and we'll be right back after this technical pause.
One.
And we are back after that short break. Illinois Tech did have some PC issues, so I had to get a player to swap PCs, but we are back and tied up, identical gold income for both teams here. So going to be an exciting next 5 to 10 minutes for us in the booth and for you viewers at home. Okay, we're good. We're
Give
good.
us 1 second.
I think that's just league spec being a little weirded out by the pause, but we're good.
It likes to do that sometimes.
Oh, but Valpo able to pick up a turret here.
It's gonna start making a gold lead. We are gonna see. We are gonna see that. We're gonna see that Thresh throws the lantern for Mel, preventing any sort of significant damage being done to her. It does look like that Valpo is trying to continue to set up more vision for Otacon here. We see that Kimbo and Jarvan the Fourth are there, not being able to find too much. Dreadful is going to be matching the Cassiopeia here. Both of them having TP up in case a full fight starts to break out towards the top side.
And also, oh wow, Cassiopeia using the ult, but Dreadful going to have his ult as well, and able to find the solo bolo in the bot lane. And Dreadful going to be 2-0-2 now, rocking that 300 gold shutdown. And Cassiopeia unfortunately does fall again. Next objective up in this game, minute 30, that fourth dragon going to be Hextech. Valpo looking to achieve soul point, while Illinois Tech is trying to even up the score 2-2. And keep in mind, always have this Otacon alive in the top lane. You know, personally, I think it's great to keep vision on. Gotta be careful taking it. Like, the only time where it's, you know, okay to take is if you got an ace, a huge team fight win, then you take it. Taking it and forcing that fight, you know, it does so much damage. You can't really treat it the same as a Baron.
Yeah, the amount of armor and magic reduction, and the amount of damage that it does. I know when people were saying, like, when we had the new Baron rework, that actually felt like an epic monster. Otacon really feels like an epic monster. You have to, like,
you gotta, like, World of Warcraft, like, pull up a whole raid and, like, actually, like, fight that thing.
Which it feels, but it also feels all the more rewarding. Because I would say Otacon is more impactful than a Baron buff now. What would you, what?
I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
Because
maybe. I mean, you're the one on the league team. All I've been doing in league the past month is I've only played Earth, so I couldn't tell you.
Hey, Earth is fun. I wish I enjoyed it as much as Summer's
Otacon out now, but also all random Earth is out right now, so that's kind of been my cup of tea recently. But Valpo going to start up this soul point for them on this Hextech Dragon. Very strong soul for them if they're able to achieve it. And it looks like Illinois Tech is teasing the idea of maybe going in. Oh, J4 going to be stuck here, and that is going to be a death. So big kill on the J4, and Thresh also going in. Feels like Illinois Tech is forcing this one. Not a great scenario, and Jakimbo finds a big ult on the black line, is going to pick up the Cassiopeia. Thresh dies as well, so double kill for Jakimbo. And oh, Super Bear going in so deep. Gotta be careful though, Jakimbo. Not.
Yep, Super Bear overcommitting in that team fight.
Super Bear went a little deep there.
Definitely right idea. But his team does not have all the mobility of Zach. And so they unfortunately were a little mismatched in their positioning for that. But that is going to be a huge positive play for Valpo here. But because Super Bear did end up following that is not going to be an easy Otacon. That's not going to be an easy direct roam to Otacon.
That all kind of started with J4 kind of teasing the idea of like, hey, should we contest this drag or not? And then he got called out because of it. So bit of a slip up from Illinois Tech. But yeah, like you said, not going to be an Otacon. But are going to have Baron up as well. So two major objectives in the top lane. And another interesting thing about Otacon is like these two like huge objectives are like in the same general location. So like that makes this vision control on the top side even more important, where when you have like a Baron and a Dragon, when they're on opposite quadrants of the map, like these feel so close and like compact together.
I feel the same way. Of vision being absolutely this being a really good opportunity to teach teams, especially to always teach teams the idea of vision importance, because again, if you have two good wards, just gives you so much extra information here.
Yeah, and also creates the opportunity, if you get an ace on the top side, you could probably do both objectives, where if you know it's a Baron and a Dragon, sometimes you can't always get both before those restun timers come up because you got to travel so long to get to the bottom side of the river. But anyways, Valpo up 2k gold lead now. Aurora able to chunk the Thresh to half health. Mel able to trade back some damage, but it is Dreadful on Aatrox, so he'll probably just heal back to full health.
He will. Knowing Dreadful, he will. But also something I want to point out, as Valpo is starting this Baron, with you saying the Jarvan, what you say about that Jarvan the 4 being overextended in that last Dragon fight, I know something we saw last few streams here, and something that has been a point of contention is watching how extended you are, and sometimes just trading one person being overextended. But it looks like I'm gonna have to stop talking here about that, as the law is going to have to pop. As law is going to pop ultimate here, is going to start aggroing Otacon here. But Valpo is going to get
Illinois
the
Tech
Baron.
might get baited to start Otacon here.
They would, and we have. There's Jakimbo does have TP, but it also is Hex Tech. So members of Valpo are going to be able to get here a lot sooner than I think that Illinois Tech might fully expect.
And only the law actually did end up back in there, but they are actually going to start this Otacon. You got to be careful because Valpo still has all their ults available other than the law, in a very strong position. And I think this is the wise move by Illinois Tech, cutting their losses here. They're going to lose the Baron, but they're going to live to fight another day.
And after Valpo being able to push them back, Valpo is then going to take their backs with the Baron power play in effect for another 2 minutes and 6 seconds. We're gonna see again. I think it's gonna be either a Valpo signature of a 1-4 or it's gonna be a 1-3-1. You see that Dreadful is at least in the bot lane here, pushing it down. Looking to, I guess, to finally crack that tier 1 turret that caused Valpo a lot of anguish earlier in this match. We're gonna see some Hex Gates coming in. We are gonna see that this looks like there can be a potential play around mid. Dreadful is not gonna be able to fully be there if a full fight breaks out, but that is the tier 1 turret destroyed for on the side of Valpo, opening up the map a little bit more for them as the gold lead starts to widen to just around 4,000. Super is going to get caught out in vision. Mel is going to find the root. Xante doing some extra damage. Super just going to be able to walk it off. Not much damage being found to him. We're going to see that DDM is going to start pushing that wave, and it does look like Dreadful is going to back here, but he does have TP now in preparation in case the fight starts to break out here for Dragon.
Speaking of damage, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of damage Illinois Tech's able to put out in these fights, because a lot of their DPS does come from those AP sources. But J4 is going for, an Eclipse. Having some AD, but always going to have the fight breaking out here. The Law finding the nice engage, and Super Bear going over the top with that Ezreal ult as well. Able to find a nice engage, and Jakimbo finding the backline with that ultimate. Sante finding the ult as well. Several members low for Illinois Tech, and they're able to find purchase. Thresh goes down, Cassiopeia goes down, Mel goes down. Zach in passive here, but Valpo still hasn't lost a member quite yet. That is going to be a 3-0.
Valpo's being able to successfully zone and make sure that while Super's passive will proc that Super is going to be alive, which means that is going to be soul for Valpo. Hextech specifically, but we are going to see another fight. The Law is going to start taking some damage. Dreadful looking to try to slow down this Jarvan, and is going to be successful in that mission here. But we are going to see a flash for a flash, and unfortunately we are going to see the Law fall just through. It looks like red buff, if I had to guess, being the thing that will knock out the Law there. But Law and Dreadful being able to hold on for enough time for Super to get Soul, and that is going to mean that Elder is going to be up in 6 minutes.
Yeah, so Valpo with Soul now, I think could start making a play towards Otacon, and they do have quite a significant gold lead now, up 5k. But they definitely are in control of this game, and just got to find a way to close it out now.
And with Valpo looking to close it out, just take it again. We'll take a quick look across the lanes real fast. You can see that Dreadful's up about 50 CS. Across Xante, up 1 kill. Actually, Dreadful being the only member of Valpo that has not yet died. And please don't tell me I'm wrong, as we're seeing this potential 2v1. But we are going to see the Law and Jakimbo and Super are all going to be here to assist Dreadful. In that fight. We are going to see that Xante is going to go into all out here. And that was just to be able to disengage. Cassiopeia is in the bot lane right now.
Yep. So
she does have TP though.
They choked out the Xante, Cassiopeia in the bot lane. Now I feel like this is a safe time to start the Otacon, even with these Hextech gates. Cassiopeia does have teleport available though. Does decide to use it, but a very passive teleport. Super going to look for an engage. Valpo looks like they're on the same page. They're all committed to this fight. Thresh goes down, Mel goes down, and they're able to force Illinois Tech into a fight they don't want to have. That's going to be a double kill for Jakimbo. Cassiopeia also going to fall to Jacimbo, and that is going to be a clean ace and should be the game for Valpo in week 2 of the NECC.
I was going to say, absolutely amazing work by Jacimbo there. Super pair as well, being able to successfully lock down the entire team. Super truly showing that the power of that lockdown and potential there.
Looks like they're actually going to play for Otacon here and back off.
Which an interesting play.
I thought you know, honestly, it was close. I thought they could have done it. Okay, yeah, they're just gonna back actually.
They're just gonna back take their huge gold lead, now up almost 8,000 gold here.
I really think they could have ended the game.
I
mean, they're still got 3 members down.
Yeah, I think they were worried in the fact that probably every single member of Valpo had.
It's easier to see like outside of the game too, you know, from the caster point of view. But I'd like to hear from the players, or actually, I'd like to hear from Coach Chase, what they think about that one.
Well, during our break between game 1 and game 2, we will ask and we will report back to you, Beacon fans. But with that being
trying to make me look silly over here in the caster.
They love to do that to us casters.
Yeah.
I will say. I say one thing, the team does the exact opposite, and then it's a winning play. And so
hey, as long as they win the game, no harm, no foul.
If they win the game, let me be wrong, but it reminds me.
If they lose the game, then we got issues.
Yeah.
Able to start up this Baron, and it looks like Illinois Tech is not going to be able to get there in time. And Valpo will claim the Baron. Illinois Tech starting to give some more space here. We'll see if Valpo just decides to start Otacon.
And it does look like that there are pings. It looks like for the potential start of it. And it doesn't. There is no vision here for vision. All the vision from Illinois Tech was taken out in that last fight. But we are going to see that Otacon is going to be given to the side of Valpo. With Baron and Otacon, you either 1-4 or 5-man you A-ram it, and you should just end the game here. Valpo up almost 9,000 gold. There's really no reason to just not fight even one member that's slightly out of position, and just be able to look to end it here.
And they do have the Baron too, so could also utilize these waves. Unfortunately, that bot lane still has that tier 2 turret up, so just going to be working with this top and mid here.
But it does look like that. It does look like Jacimbo is going to be pushing in this top wave as well, just forcing someone to have to respond to him. We've seen that Jacimbo by himself, no one person is actually fully able to respond to him, so sending at least 2, and the rest of the team cannot afford to fight a 3v4 here. DNM actually doing a lot of damage here. We're gonna see it looks like a potential skirmish breakout. But it does look like that Illinois Tech is trying to stem the bleed as much as possible here. Super is going to try to find something, not going to be able to. And as the mid inhibitor does fall, Valpo is full 5 stacked here. I'm just hoping for one member of Illinois Tech to be slightly out of place. It looks like so that they can just continue. But they are going to roam as 5 down the bot lane. It does look like that they are just going to try to take the tier 2 turret.
Yep. Do have Elder up in 30 seconds as well here. So Valpo got to be careful with this Elder because, you know, an Elder swing could give Illinois Tech an advantage in a team fight if they're able to somehow find a way to steal this. But J4 has to walk up to try and get some vision. Jacimbo going to find the kill.
Valpo's up 1 kill, but Valpo still does need to be careful here.
That looks like that's going to be what they're going to do, is play back for the Elder.
And Jacimbo chunking out the Cassiopeia from full to half with 1 combo. Alright, and we are going to see that Elder is going to start being teased by Valpo here. And with the Aurora is going to find the Cassiopeia being down. Cassante does look like the potential to get an all-out. Jacimbo is going to get found, but they're not going to be able to do any damage, and that Valpo is going to have yet another ace here, as with the waves of the teleport coming out by, it looks like, Dreadful, that we don't want to say it until it happens, because as soon as we said it last time.
We'll see. They
but
really should.
But Valpo is going to have all 5 members go towards the second Nexus turret, And with that being said, Valpo is going to finish this game off with a 13,000 gold lead, leading us to the first victory, Valpo versus Illinois Tech.
Yeah, we got a Indiana Tech that we play quite often in one of our other conferences, so I keep wanting to say it too. But Valpo taking game one here in this best of three series, but we are going to head to a short break before we are back with game two. And welcome back to Game 2 of this Best of 3 series, Valpo League of Legends versus Illinois Tech. So exciting game on our hands as we head into draft for Game 2. Have Valpo on red side as the Scarlet Hawks opt to take blue side here. So same round 1 bans for them. Going to have that Skarner for Super Bear, and then the Renekton and Camille for that top lane targeting Dreadful. And first pick Aurora for B1 for the Scarlet Hawks this time around. So very interesting pick, but looks like they had a plan in mind.
As I say, they saw the success of Kimbo's Aurora and decided that they wanted to make it their own
Going to be
success.
difficult to replicate, but they're going to earnest and try. Really like this Ezreal pick. Something that Diadem's been playing a lot against these master GM bot laners is Ezreal. It's a very safe pick. Can dish out a lot of damage late game, but also has the mobility and utility to be able to survive in these tougher environments, these tougher lanes, and gives the law the opportunity to roam. So great pickup by Valpo, and also the Zach again. Super Bear thrilled to be able to have that pick go through once again.
Yeah, I was going to say, Illinois Tech just kind of they are going to maintain the same 3 bands that they had before. We are actually going to see a hover over Caitlyn here, realizing that that Mel pick did not work out as well as they might have wanted it to. Um, trying to find something to deal with the Ezreal, and Caitlyn is a decent response. Just again, the extra range that Caitlyn has is able to be oppressive, and as long as you're playing around your position, that will be relatively strong for the
Yeah.
side of Illinois Tech.
So depending on how these support picks go, could be a much more brutal laning phase for the bot lane for Valpa because Galen is quite the lane bully, has a ton of range, dishes out a ton of damage early game. And Scarlet Hawks, they're seeing what worked for Valpo and they're just picking it for themselves as they do pick up their Rakan as well.
Which will be interesting to see here how that will translate to the second phase. We do see that mid is still available for the side of Valpo. Again, Aurora can still be flex pick. I don't fully know um, this Scarlet's team. I don't fully know if they're as comfortable on Aurora top as they are with Aurora mid. With the last few seconds counting down, we are going to see that Valpo is going to lock Nautilus here. Good pick by them, decently able to help shut down Rakan, and also just be able to punish any member. All three are both Aurora and Caitlyn if they're ever pushed out too far. Nautilus just be able to hook and just do a lot of damage and a lot of CC.
Yep. Although it is much different than Rakan, it kind of fulfills the same role that the law is looking for. It's for that engage. Nautilus even providing a little more front line, so going to be a solid pick. Also having that point and click ultimate ability, CC, and still going to see the same bands coming out from Illinois Tech here. And I believe last ban was so for Valpo they got the Ambessa, and I forget what their R5 ban was in game one.
I know it was another top laner.
Yeah, I know that for sure.
We both can't remember it. No. I was gonna say no because I was like, it's that was Darius because they were thinking of doing that before. But I'm gonna say the Mel ban here by Valpo here. It does look like that they will be generous and throw a ban towards Jakimbo here with a hover over to Leah. But overall, decent bit of ban choices again, if not once again a little top heavy in terms of Illinois Tech and a little bit bot heavy in terms of Valpo. Valpo with the R4 pick here could either choose mid or choose top lane. One of them will get the guaranteed counter pick here, and we are going to see the Ari hovered with 7 seconds left. I know as soon as I say it'll be left, there might get changed as we were talking about last game.
Nah, it's gonna be the Ari. And for Dreadful, I'd kind of like to see the Aatrox again. I mean, I don't see any reason why not.
As
Oh, and they do get the Hui,
oh,
so that Aurora is likely going to be going in the top lane. And now it's Silas, so now we actually aren't 100% sure. And I feel like they have been actually staying true to these flex picks. A lot of times when you pick a flex, you still like pick it as a flex, but you kind of already like have a predetermined spot for it. But for Scarlet Hawks, I really think it's going to depend on what this next pick is for Valpo, where these laners end up actually going.
am I a little crazy, or could this Silas still jungle relevant? Well, with Hecarim, you don't really play Hecarim anywhere
It's
else.
it's playable, but not playable at the same time. If you catch my drift, like you can, but it's not that good.
It's not that good, but especially with Hecarim, Hecarim doesn't go anywhere else other than the
Yeah,
jungle.
and are actually going to pick up the M-Pesa this time. So I believe that Valpo decided to ban it when they're on blue side because Scarlet Hawks had the R5, so they had the next pick available. So hence why Valpo actually banned it out the first time, even though it's in his champ pool. But we'll pick up the Mbessa, so is going to have some mobility, be able to work around these more mid lane style champions. I'm expecting to see the Aurora top, I think.
We're a top Silas, man.
That's my guess.
I would say your guess is probably better than mine. Silas is a permanent ban on whenever I'm in solo queue, so I haven't caught up against the Silas in a hot while. But do we think? I know we say it, and I'm assuming it's probably going to be the same again. Between Super Bear and Jakimbo, just continuing to focus on getting him accelerated, and then trying to help out bot on top whenever the opportunity presents.
I think it. Yeah, I think that for sure. But also, the scary thing is, this bot lane's a lot different now because you have the Caitlyn who's like a lane boy, very oppressive. You also need to make sure that Diadem is like staying in the game at the same time because you got to be careful that like that lead doesn't snowball into like getting zoned off like XP and waves and stuff. You got to make sure that Diadem is safe and okay. But with that being said, yeah, I mean, really looking to get Jimbo ahead. I mean, that's what's won him game one, and I think that's what's going to help them be successful in game two as well.
All right. Well, with that being said, we are actually going to head into a quick break as us in the booth and as everyone prepares for the second game of NECC, Valpo versus Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. We will catch you guys in a few minutes. Beacons. 2-1. All right, and we are back, Valpo fans, with the second game, Valpo versus Illinois Tech Scarlet Witches. And with that being said, um, we are going to see that Valpo is going to 5-man stack here.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, could be looking for something here. No vision by Caitlyn here. The law is going to see the Caitlyn here.
Oh, and buys
Does
the
for
flash, and that's actually going to be quite big. They're going to get spotted out here by this ward. Some deep wards. Heckram smartly trading their wards, able to get a ward on the Raptors there. But yeah, that's going to be big. Valpo able to find the flash from Caitlyn without using any summoners themselves. So
well, a positive.
especially,
But Heckram's gonna stay. Heckram's gonna stay. And this Heckram has a better level 1 than
for
Zach
sure,
does.
for sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I honestly, if I were Heckram, you just take it and leave. Take it and then just full clear your side. That's the smart play to do there. But it is nice that Caitlyn is going to have this flash down in such an oppressive lane. Oh, but he actually... Oh, this could actually be very bad. Oh, this is very bad. So Heckram able to go for a bit of a riskier play, but able to just walk over, take the red buff, and he's going to end up taking the whole top side. And not only is that extremely bad for Super Bear, but that's also just like extremely tilting. Like to be able to like get mentally back into the game after that happens is gonna be brutal.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot harder, because that's like the one thing is you aren't expecting that to happen. You kind of just go on kind of like autopilot for a second. DNM is gonna start getting poked out here by Caitlyn. And just forcing DNM in the lot to just be careful here. It already looks like what you were saying earlier, what you were worried about is possibly going to start happening. Is that Caitlyn's already going to start being oppressive enough that is going to be what that oppression is just going to not cause DNM in the lot to get the XP and gold that they need.
Illinois Tech up about 600 gold in the early game here. Mbessa, Dreadful, finding the early trade here, able to dodge that ability from Aurora, so overall net positive trade. Now, I think Mbessa actually does pretty well in Aurora. I mean, for melee top laners, because Aurora has a ton of phenomenal matchups that can just be unplayable for a lot of top laners. But this one, it's probably still Aurora favor, but it's playable. Have a lot of mobility, but as I say that, Dreadful does get chunked out a bit.
Lana's gonna take some damage. Dreadful, if Dreadful can just get rid of 1 or 2 more abilities
you
here.
see a lot of pings going out. Super Bear going to get collapsed on here. Byrakan does get trapped as well, and that is Super Bear, and that is sad. I feel bad for Super Bear as a fellow Zac jungler. Getting through that first clear can be rough at times, and you know he's only got 3 camps now. Heckram has 36 CS, was able to pick up that bot scuttle, kill, assist, and is going to be able to claim his bot side as well. So I mean he's had full 3 quadrants and the scuttle on top of it with the kill. So he's going to be very, very far ahead, and Super Bear is not going to be able to help in the lanes much, as he's just going to try and have to get back into this game.
Oh,
and a nice kill by Illinois Tech's mid laner there, as they are able to find the solo bolo on Jakimbo, a very rare feat to accomplish. And speaking of feats, the first 3 bloods go over. Oh, this could be big. And Super Bear, big kill. Back in the game, and was going to catch all that XP and wave, but he actually holds it for Jakimbo, so Jakimbo can TP back. But Heckram in his topside jungle continuing to be oppressive, but this could be an overextension, as we do have top lane prio for Valpo. He does spot him out here. We'll see what happens. Is Jakimbo starting to head down as well?
Mbessa is on her way. But and Aurora does miss the ability, but I think that does mean Super Bear is going to be able to get his Krugs back. But this does mean with all this action happening in the top half, it does mean that it's going to be harder. It's just making Diadem having a little bit of a harder time making sure that he's going to stay in this. The law is going to be pretty low, but Caitlyn doesn't have ultimate yet, and the law is just going to have to. Law and Diadem are just going to have to walk that back. Some communication coming out from the side of Illinois Tech to just look and probably start getting some vision down on Void Grubs.
Crazy how much like one like minor play in the early game can like affect the jungle like so significantly. Like Super Bear is down 30 CS right now, and like it's all stemming from like the Hecarim starting Raptors and going to red, and like it just all goes downhill from there. But Valpo, not as great of a start this game, down 2k gold, but still hanging on there. I mean, most of that is going to be coming from the jungle, as well as, you know, a bit of a top lane CS advantage just due to the ranged melee matchup, and that first blood in the mid lane, and then Caitlyn having that additional kill on Zach in the scuttle.
Well, but Aurora is going to take a turret shot. And thank you for the follow. And as we're continuing here, we are going to start to see that level 6s are going to start happening for both sides. Jakimbo does need to be careful here now, as Silas could look to be grabbing. Silas could look for that. Could look for the Ari dash grab, which would be huge for Silas, just giving him a lot of extra mobility going around. And Valpo is going to be able to take the first. Valpo is going to take Infernal Dragon here, giving them some much needed raw stats. With Hextech being the second dragon up for these teams here, we are going to see that Hecarim is going to be in Super's jungle yet again. Just continuing the oppression, level 7 to level 5 here. And Jakimbo, unfortunately, Jakimbo is forced to still have to deal with the Silas. It's not going to be able to stay Super Bear here. But we do see that the law is nearby. We're going to look to possibly try to punish. But Silas is just not. Silas is just going to make. Oh! Jakimbo is going to land the charm here and is going to do a lot of damage here. Law does have to be careful not to just give. Not to give Hecarim more. And the Law is going to walk away with that. Just barely some health.
Yeah, so Hecarim, 10 CS a minute, 201, going to be quite a problem come the mid game. Dynam holding his own here, went down just a bit of CS, and the Law was able to move to mid, not have to worry about Diadem down there, and he is doing it.
He's doing a non-zero amount of damage, and the main thing though is that because of those extra Void Grubs, is the amount of play that she's able to get is gonna start adding up really quickly.
I mean, he's been playing so well in these lanes the past couple of weeks that I should stop complimenting him for going even in lane, and I'm gonna start, you know, being a little critical if something goes awry here in bot lane.
We gotta stop saying that we don't. We gotta stop saying that as if we don't expect this much from him.
Yeah, I keep saying it like I'm surprised that he's going even, but no, I mean he's been doing it week in week out against very very high level ADCs.
With that, with this being said, Super is on his camps right now. We saw some pings actually come out from the side of Illinois Tech, having deep vision control, just kind of forcing Super to have to play this a little bit even more slowly. And the problem is, with that being said, we're already seeing a Hecarim at 9 minutes. Is going to have Spear of Shojin online. Oh, we are going to see the ultimate come out from Dreadful here. Dreadful doing a lot of damage here, and actually Dreadful is going to be able to solo bolo the Aurora.
That was great ultimate, able to find the kill, and even when Aurora was in this, was able to tack on some more damage. So Dreadful, own bright spot for Valpo in this early game, as he has been doing a phenomenal job in that matchup versus Aurora.
And this is I would say the time right now where the where that would be the strongest is or Aurora's lead would be the strongest is in the early game before Dreadful starts getting items. So the fact that Dreadful is able to 1v1 and has actually been pretty even on CS. Again, just another testament to even with a kind of losing early game matchup, them being able to take it and make it their own.
Another thing to watch out for here in this bot lane is, you know, they've done a good job here for Valpo, but they've actually had 4 turret plates go over. Going to just have a ton of extra gold income from that. So Caitlyn having the collector available. So Diadem not necessarily behind in this bot lane, but Caitlyn is going to be. This collector is really when Caitlyn is at her strongest in the lane.
Ezreal ulting the wave, trying to prevent that tower from falling, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And at 11 minutes, we are going to see the first objective. We are going to see the first turret fall, and with that, that is going to be feats to the side of Illinois Tech here, with the first 3 kills and the first tower being broken. Silas being pretty low on HP, but again, we've seen Silas as many a time before. Be able to go from not having a lot of HP to going back being pretty full and dropping a pretty nasty combo on any champion that Silas is able to get on top of.
Yeah, so Valpo down 4k gold, but going to have another couple objectives coming up here. Going to have that second Dragon Hex tech up in 20 seconds, as well as Rift Herald in 4 minutes here. Have some pings coming out from tech for that soon, and they are positioning for it here as Law is up in the top lane trying to find something there. And we do get a TP from Silas here, so going to try and find a kill or at least chunk out Super Bear here. He does go down to the Hecarim. That should be a Dragon Security.
With this, we're going to see that Law is, Caitlyn is being moved mid, trying to continue to get more gold into her pocket by breaking more turret plate, as Plate is still up for about 2 more minutes. Mid lanes have switched. Kimbo's still fighting off the Silas. Silas actually doing a pretty decent job of maintaining, or of keeping a pretty even, maintaining pretty even CS here. Diadem actually going to be able to find that Q, doing a pretty good chunk of damage to Caitlyn, but Valpo not looking to go full in because they didn't know where Rakan was.
Dreadful, up a level here. Or does have ultimate available, so gotta watch out for that.
Oh, we are going to see that Dreadful actually did try to ult there, but it does look like he was not able to find it. And with that ultimate being down for the next round of objectives.
Objective 430, going to have that third improvement so far, 1-to-1 each side on these dragons, as well as this one going to be the next objective available. Have Hecarim in here quite going to have 4 members of Valpo here. Does use that ghost, does have ult, does not have ult available, and will get shut down by Dreadful, so a lot of guild for Valpo in Dreadful's pocket here. Also have this TP come in and Super Bear looking to engage onto the Aurora, and Charm misses as well. So Valpo just going to have the Hecarim shut down, but a big shutdown indeed. And Caitlyn able to pick up these last couple plates before that 14 minutes hits.
And Diadem.
And taking a look at that gold lead, just from those turret plates, Caitlyn up 2k gold in the bot lane. Having the most gold in the game, actually quite a bit more than Hecarim, just from having 9 turret plates. That is a lot of plates.
A lot of gold going. We're going to see a lot of pings come out, as it does. Super Bear is just unable to be in his own jungle this game, with a lot of oppression, both vision and forcing.
And Jakimbo does find the charm, and they're going to find a pick onto Rakan here. Hecarim eat in, but wasn't able to find anything. Oh, and Super Bear forcing the flash out of Caitlyn. Going to find another charm. 2 charms, 2 picks, and that's a double kill for Jakimbo. And Valpo has sneakily started to find some shutdowns here as they have chopped this cold lead down to about 3k. Well, I guess 4k with that turret take now, but should be 3k after they take this mid turret. But Valpo in that top in the mid lane able to find some kills and now have shutdowns for themselves.
again, is that little bit of gold injection, exactly what you needed to see if you're a Valpo fan. Jakimbo getting some much needed additional resources to help. That definitely though, Valpo's mid turret, while still standing, is going to be a facade of a turret. It's not actually going to be able to protect against.
And positioning wise here, Valpo has to play like that turret does not exist. So
Yes.
that's always something you got to be a bit careful of. We have some pinks going out for it. It's as good as gone.
Good. We're going to see the ult come out from Diadem again, just
Yeah,
as to look to weaken the wave. And Kalen's basically just gonna say hello to it, and it's gonna.
But taking that mid prow, and Illinois Tech going to head for this Rift Herald to try and get some more damage down on these turrets, utilizing this Rift Herald. And they do have those feats now, so they're starting to get those boot upgrades coming through. Valpo trying to play cross map here, the law. Side prepping for this dragon, Infernal Dragon in a minute 10.
Just continuing to watch the CS. Super Bear still continuing to not be able to fully find as much. Oh, we're gonna see that Jakimbo is gonna have to be careful here, as we are seeing that Hecarim is trying to find something. Jakimbo does have to commit his ultimate to prevent any more damage getting done to him.
Yeah, surprised not to see the Hecarim ult there with Silas kind of tailing him there, but probably just didn't have enough info, enough vision to make a commitment onto that play.
Oh, we are going to see that Dreadful is actually going to take a pretty significant chunk of damage here. This is going to shield. That shield is going to tank that turret shot here, but Aurora is starting to become really oppressive, especially with that Luden's Companion. I'm starting to build charges and just be able to do a lot of burst damage.
Dragon going to be up in 15 seconds now, and they are actually going to pop the Rift Herald at a perfect time here for Illinois Tech, as they're able to claim some mid-prow with this Rift Herald. If they kind of opt for a charge, or kind of just drop it for Valpo to take some time trying to hit it. Oh, and he does use Smite there, so Valpo not going to be able to contest this one. I mean, I guess they could, they just won't have Smite ability.
We are going to
look for the fight.
Dreadful is in the back lines doing a lot of damage. Jakimbo does find the Caitlyn, and it's going to be 3 for 3 as we are going to see that Valpo is going to continue to try to find something, but Valpo's not going to be able to do too much here, and Super is going to be the only remaining member alive, as Illinois Tech is going to make that an ace from this.
I don't love that fight from Valpo. Not even just the smite, but it felt forced. We didn't have vision. Did not really get the engage they wanted to. You know, they did have the point and click ult with the Nautilus, but Zach wasn't able to find the knockup, find the targets that Valpo really needed to lock onto. So Hecarim going to be quite strong now, 6-1-3. And Illinois Tech going to extend their gold lead to 7K.
With Valpo being down right now, what do we need to see in order for Valpo to get back in the game?
Well, I think Valpo here really, sorry, I needed to take some time to process because, you know, they are in quite a tough spot here, but I think Valpo needs to play for their picks. They're playing a pick comp right now. They have the Ari Charm, they have the Nautilus. Zach has a ton of CC as well. So what they need to do is make sure they keep control of these jungles, of their jungle quadrants, get that vision and play around that info, play around that vision, and be able to collapse and find picks on the members, get these shutdowns on Silas, on Hecarim, and start to try and chip away at this gold lead. Right now is not the time where they can take a full-on, a fair fight. They can't take a 5v5, they can't take a full. What they can do is they can isolate one member, 3v1, 4v1, and start chipping away at that gold lead so they can get some more gold, get some better items, and be able to eventually find their way into a fair fight. You know, when we look ahead at the game, you know, we're talking Soul, maybe Baron, Otacon, maybe a fight like that, you know, 5-7 minutes down the line, so they're able to get a true contestant for one of those.
Oh, we are going to see the Super Bear and Jakimbo are going to start fighting here for a looks like potential 2v3. Jakimbo forced to be careful here. Jimbo does end up getting charged. Jimbo doesn't end up getting found. Is going to take out. Is going to go 1-for-1 here. Dreadful's going to go 1-for-1 on himself too, but it doesn't look like he has TP and able to help join this fight as the Game Freeze Slightly Super is going to continue taking some damage. The Law is going to try to do some things, but not going to be able to do enough as...
Yeah, so Valpo there, engaged on a 4v4, not really the best idea. Dreadful did end up winning that 1v1 in the top lane, but not to mention the Valpo fight with even numbers there, but they also didn't have their strongest player, Dreadful, with probably the most cold, but, being... So, not an advisable fight to take there, and I don't believe they knew they had 4 people there, but they didn't have the vision or the info to be able to confidently say, hey, they only got 2 here and actually take that fight. So Valpo will further themselves in this hole, going to be down 9k gold. And now your question remains, how does Valpo get back in this game? At this point, it's got to be mistakes from Illinois Tech and capitalizing on those mistakes, because that's the only way that Valpo is going to be able to win this game too, is if Illinois Tech makes, a few mistakes here to allow Valpo back into this game.
I was gonna say, trying to think of something myself. I was gonna say we've been seeing that definitely the Hecarim and Silas have been the problem players for Valpo to have to deal with, and so if Valpo is able to find, especially that Hecarim overextended in any way, being able to punish that that's what Valpo's probably gonna also need to see too, is that if they can collapse the 3-on-1 on Hecarim and then are able to, I think if they are able to kill Hecarim separately and don't commit too many resources to that, we could then see a 4v4 after they were able to kill the Hecarim. But even then, Hecarim right now is extremely strong with 3 items and fully maxed out boots. And remember, Hecarim is one of those champions that benefits from speed as adding to his stats. We are going to see that Dreadful is going to TP. Dreadful is going to find the Caitlyn here. Caitlyn is going to try to get out, but Dreadful is going to make sure that doesn't happen. Silas is getting locked down. We are going to see the Aurora ult here, and we're going to see that Hecarim is just doing an absurd amount of damage. Hecarim with a Quadra.
I actually do like that fight by Valpo, taking a chance there. Dreadful is able to get onto the Caitlyn, which was, one of their bigger damage dealers, and take them out, but unfortunately, when you're down 9k gold, you gotta kind of swing for the fences to have a chance to get back into the game. So I don't hate that play at all. Unfortunately, Valpo is just too far back in the game, but I don't think that's a bad fight. That's kind of just a result of them being quite far behind. Jakimbo able to find a solo kill on this Aurora though, so going to get some more gold income there. Another thing that I did want to say as well too is Valpo doesn't have any anti-heal, and you mentioned 2 of the strongest players on Illinois Tech are this Hecarim and Silas. Both have a ton of healing. Hecarim from that Dust Dance, from that W, and Silas' entire kit, like he does a ton of Omnivan. Valpo not having any anti-heal appliers. Typically you'd see a Zac have a Bramble or a Nautilus have a Bramble, but even then, is it really enough? Arguably, not the biggest healing team of all time. But would like to at least see the Bramble or some form of anti-heal from a player of Valpo here.
And we are going to see that the Law is able to hit that Scuttle, which is going to give Valpo much needed vision. Oh, that Charm is going to land. Charm is going to lower the Rakandu about half. It's going to force a back, or at the very least, commitment of those River Fruits. But again, Valpo needing to make plays here that are going to help slowly inch their way back in, almost around a 9,500 gold deficit here. Otacon still up, but not being taken yet by any member. And we are going to see that the Caitlyn ultimate is going to be used on Jakimbo here, just trying to help damage him. A lot of pings going out here, as it does look like that
Tech's going to be starting this Otacon and maybe looking to force a fight a bit here. Now Otacon is one of the scarier ones to kind of force a fight on, but Caitlyn able to find these traps and do a lot of zoning. Have to take that hit for the team to open that pathway up a bit here, but Valpo going to look for this engage. Zach going to E over the top. Are they able to find the steal? This
Oh,
might be
Hacker
Valpo's chance.
Hackram is going to end up killing the Voracious Autocon. With that being said, it was a good look by Valpo. You had to look for that.
Once again, you're kind of just forced to fight in that scenario, even though there's a low chance of winning it. And Illinois Tech will get some TPs in and are going to end this game, most likely. Should.
And as we're seeing,
Should win this game right now.
yeah, with the next next member that's going to be up is the Law in about 5 seconds here. And the Law is not. I don't think the Law is not going to be able to deal with a 4v1. And Illinois Tech is going to make this go to a best of 3, keeping us on our toes here.
So we are headed to Game 3 in Week 2 of the NECC Valpo versus Illinois Tech League of Legends, and yeah, Game 3, here we come. We will be right back.
All right, Beacons, welcome back to Game 3 of Valpo versus Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks, and we are going to see here that pick and bans are going to be completed. Valpo is going to choose the Corgi, the Ash, and the Kaisa, and in response, we're going to see the Scarlet Hawks continuing with their two of the three bans. We're actually, instead of Camille, we're going to see Aurora.
And I think this is a warranted smart change by Illinois Tech. They're going to, be on red side now. Valpo opting to pick blue side after their game two loss, and they're going to negate that Aurora B1 pick that we've seen in game one and game two from both teams. But going to pick up that Ezreal, I think it's been very strong and worked well in both games. And I'm surprised not to see the Caleb response. That's what I would think Illinois Tech would pick here, but we'll see.
It was doing a pretty decent job into locking down the Ezreal, but we are going to see that the Jinx is going to be chosen. Can be very potential for a potential really bad, really scary hyper carry comp, especially if it's an enchanter support. So Valpo is going to look, and it's going to be Rakan, so going to be a little bit more of an engage disengage, but not able to help accelerate that Jinx as much as if it was a Lulu or a Soraka.
Yeah, and going to pick up that Rakan having 100% presence in these games as well. And we'll see if Dreadful decides to pick up this Camille. Strong Split Pusher was banned in the previous two games away, and Illinois Tech opting to ban that champ. We'll see if it gets through Camille blind this time. Regardless, going to be forced to blind pick a top laner, so might not be a bad time to pick it.
We are going to see that Jarvan the Fourth is that no matter what, Camille is going to at least be put either into B3 or for the second phase, which will just give uh, Illinois Tech the opportunity to ban that again in phase 2. But Valpo is going to have their final pick here. Would kind of like to see a support response because you already know what the support of Illinois Tech is going to be.
I think J4 has a lot more agency, a lot more early game prio for Valpo. So going to be a strong pick there. The only thing I don't like about the J4 is that it's not the Zach that's Super Bears kind of like patented like pick. And to see him kind of like stray away from that, kind of sad to see. He did have a, arguably rough game in game two, but a lot of that came from that early game pressure that the Hecarim provided. But the J4, regardless, going to be a strong pick. And then Victor, just going to have a lot of damage and a strong late game champ in the mid lane. And the Hecarim. Hecarim was quite the problem in game two. Was kind of propelled by that strong early game he did have. Was able to pick up 3 quadrants on his first clear, along with a kill and assist. So hopefully Hecarim, without that early game boost, shouldn't be as big of a problem. And we are going to see that Camille that was hovered a couple times actually get banned out in this round 2 of bans.
We're going to see that Valpo is going to be responding with a Silas ban again. Silas is also one of the relative problems that Valpo was facing last game, and so just being able to get rid of that and feel a lot more open.
Yep, Nautilus getting banned out too, something that the law played before. So we've seen um, the law play Rakan and then Nautilus. So going to have to pick up a new champion here in game 3.
With that being said, though, we have Jarvan that is Jarvan isn't engaged. We need probably at least one more engager, kind of.
I'm thinking Thresh or Blitzcrank or Bard.
Ooh, Bard would be a Bard.
I think it's between those 3.
Do you have a preference on which one you'd like to see?
Which one I would like to see as entertainment value? Bard. Um, from a what I think they should pick, probably Thresh. But the law is also very good with Bard, so Bard actually might even be a better option than Thresh, just because he's piloting that champion specifically. Might have higher value. But do have Yone picks, so Yone quite strong into Victor in the early game specifically. Just kind of that like melee assassinating type of item. We will see a couple different hovers for the top lane here. Going to see a potential Darius. Would not be shocked to see this pick at all. I personally thought it was going to go through in game 1, and it does end up getting locked in. So going to have a strong lane bully in the top lane for Valpo, and kind of a strong lane bully mid-proud champ for Illinois Tech in the mid lane, and kind of a even slower paced bot lane. And this was a champion that I did not know was this kind of high up in the Laws champ pool. But it is going to be Tom Kench. So I was kind of expecting a tankier frontline engaged champ. But the Tom Kench, I did not know that was actually in his wheelhouse. So I'm a big Tom Kench fan.
It's time to unbench the Kench, as they say. And we are going to see though that
Oh, this Yon is actually going to be going in the top lane at Bears.
so Yon into Darius. What does that matchup look like? What does that matchup look like?
Um, Still a lot of back and forth trading. When Yone's like Darius, kind of just his main goal is to get on top of people. If he's able to get on top of people, then he's um very strong and will win most like straight up duels if you're just like whacking at each other. But I mean that's why you see him take Ghost. That's why he gets like Force of Nature, Dead Man's Plate. Like his runes like all revolve around his movement speed, being able to stay on top of characters. That could be a struggle against Yon. He is a melee champ, so I mean you got that going for you. But with his E, with Q3, it's going to be tough to stick on him. But ultimately, I think it's a 50-50 skill matchup. But we are likely going to see a lot of action in the top lane, as I know Dreadful can be quite an aggressive player, and seeing a Yon would not be surprised to see those two kind of duking it out. So that's probably my lane to watch. If I had to pick one, especially because this boss support lane probably won't be too exciting for the first 10, 15 minutes until the junglers get down there. But yeah, we are in store for a quite exciting game 3 here.
Valpo and Illinois Tech both keeping us on our feet. But with that being said, Beacons, this will be one of the last times we have to call this out. We are going to take a short break as we get ready for Game 3 of Valpo versus Scarlet Hawks. And we'll catch you in a few minutes.
All right, and we are back with Game 3, Valpo versus Illinois Tech, NECC Week 2. So match point for both teams here. Going to have a 5-point this time around. Valpo going to be on the blue side. Blue side having a 100% win rate in this series, so hopefully a good omen for Valpo. Taking a look at some of these summoner spells, runes. A couple abnormal things do have a few ghosts in this game. Jinx, Hecarim, and Darius all rocking that ghost. TP for both mid laners, TP for Yon top, and then just Dorn's items across the board. So everything other than that, I mean, pretty standard, no surprises.
And something else is we got, something else that we look, and I guess it's something that I'm not personally ever used to, is still the use of all the summoner icon changes. Flash and even like exhaust specifically just looks different. And I don't, if it's a good or bad different, that's up to interpretation. But with this being said, at least this time, Super Bear is going to be able to get his camps kind of worry-free. Swain is going to find that early E onto Jakimbo starting his stacks. And same with Jakimbo starting to find his minion kills so that he can start stacking up towards his evolutions himself. But yeah, just continuing to play a slow game, and just going to be interested to see what happens again. Mid is going to be a high priority look here, and as hopefully we're going to see some more action by Dreadful up in the top side, but we are going to see that.
Great spacing in the bot lane, able to avoid that level 2 spike, so going to be big for Valpo to avoid that big trade. Taking a look at the junglers, both junglers starting bot side. Actually, for the first time in this series, as both junglers have always started on the top side of the map, but both junglers so far opting for a full clear and going to meet up at this top scuttle. So early game, and it looks like Hecarim's, Hecarim used Ghost at some point there. I'm not sure when, but
it had to have been some sort of misinput. And we're going to see
I would assume unintentional. It'd be crazy if he used it to try and get a faster clear.
You do that when you're doing your 10-minute.
When you're trying to make like a YouTube clip or something.
Yeah, when you gotta have the Rise hack, 400 CS in 3 minutes, and we're gonna see another.
Yo Flash as well. I don't know where these summoner spells, like why they're being used, as both champs have full health, so I can't imagine why a Flash.
Dreadful needed to be careful here, as Hecarim is going to be able to be here. We're seeing
Super
that.
Bear is following though, so we'll see if he's able to get a heal off the Q.
Oh,
he's going to flash away.
And we're going to see that. We're actually going to see Super Bear is going to go into the Yone here and is actually going to look to pick up the first blood here. Valpo needs to be careful not to overextend here and give a kill to Hecarim. But Valpo is going to take the first kill to Super Bear, showing that he is back in business. Dreadful is actually going to continue to try to stall out the Hecarim back. It is going to be successful, but it is going to take another turret shot.
You know what I just realized is the person who was pinging that Yon Flash being down was actually their own team pinging it. Which means it must have been a mistake because it was the Jinx who kept spam pinging that his flash was down. So it must have been a misinput. And maybe the Hecarim got away with sneaking in and his team didn't notice. That's going to be huge for the top lane. So Yoan going to miss some of that wave, some of that XP, and Dreadful going to be up here. As well as the kill actually going on to Super Bear. We are going to have Engage here. Super Bear looking for some more action here Oh, and
Oh,
misses the flag and drag flash, and that's going to be unfortunate. And Hecarim going to fall in here. Is this going to be an overextension for Valpo, or are they able to escape or con? Finding a nice knock up the law, getting his shield up, and we'll just kind of tank for the team there. Diadem going to have to flash.
oh, and Hecarim is going to take a second turret shot there, taking a lot of damage, probably force. I don't think with the amount of damage that Hecarim took, he's going to be able to take Dragon, or at least without clearing his other camps first.
Yeah, so that will, I know that's something that Super Bear works on a lot, is that flag and drag flash, but not able to find it that time, and it's going to lead to an overextension for Valpo, and the law unfortunately falling.
Well, the
But
law,
not the end of the world.
oh, and the law does look like
Oh, I can't believe he didn't get the knock up.
It looked,
Looked like he was right there, but does find the flash, so going to be good there. 2 plates for Illinois Tech, going to be pretty big there. It looked like he was right at, he had him. Fortunately, wasn't able to clip him with that knockup, but I mean, probably same result as you lose the flash there. So
it would just make us feel a little bit better in the booth if it was if you could get both. You hit the ability and you get it.
And talk to me a little bit about Dreadful's Darius skin here. I believe that's the big boy Darius skin, right? I forget what it's called.
God, it's not God King. Like Divine Myth Maker.
Is that one of those? Is that one of those like ultra expensive?
It's not. It's not. I don't think it's the Exalted. Oh, it's one of the. I think it's the Transcendence. It's the guy. It's the before they added Ancient Spark.
Yeah, I think that's like $100 skin.
I think it is, or who knows? Maybe Dreadful got it in the first pull.
Doubt it. But he's gonna have this fight break out here. Will he? Oh, finds the Q ult. He's gonna heal up and slam down, and that skin purchase looked well worth it in that team fight, or in that solo bolo fight there. Darius going to be out to quite a lead here in the top lane, and this is exactly what we were looking for. This is why I was kind of expecting to see this Darius pick in game 1, because Dreadful has been playing these lanes really well. Seems to always find his way in these 1v1s, and able to do it again.
And just Dreadful going to be able to continue to extend his lead. He didn't have a kill earlier, but the fact that that early kill top lane did mean that Super Bear was able to get he got an assist off, which is a huge amount of gold for him too.
And we talked about the importance of Darius's movement speed, able to get on top of opponents. Yon actually opted to buy tier 2 boots, his first item this game, so negating those combat stats and opting to go for the movement speed, and ultimately still decided to fight Darius, even knowing that he was kind of at a combat disadvantage. So Darius capitalizing on that, and does get the tier 1 boots now for this next part of the laning phase, but I mean, he's going to have quite an advantage for the rest of the laning phase here. And Illinois Tech still working away at that turret. The amount of plates that they've been able to get is not ideal for Valpo. That's going to be a lot of damage. Doesn't have his ult back up, but Young going to drop very low. Unfortunately, not going to die this time around.
Just going to leave Dreadful. That Dreadful's going to be able to push it away, but Yone does not have
Or
TP.
maybe I think he's got a freeze going up there, which would be even better. So
as long as Dreadful is able to pick up the flower that is there, we're actually going to see that Yone is looking to not go directly through lane, but rather through jungle here.
Yeah, it's actually faster pathing if it's like that far ahead in the lane. Fun fact.
Interesting.
Yep. Because you gotta go around a bit. You know, fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line.
I was gonna say I did. Who knew that A squared plus B squared equals C squared is gonna make its appearance on Valpo Esports today? Oh, and we are gonna see that.
Oh, and he does have ult available this time. So.
Oh, and that Yone ult does hit.
Oh, and he waited out the 5 stacks, so that's actually Yone in an advantage position now.
Yep, Dreadful's just gonna have to back it up a little bit. Oh,
huge wombo combo and a great engage by the Law and Super Bear there, and they're able to find 2 kills there. That is massive, and also massive in the top lane. Well, I guess Yon forced to TP out now, as I was gonna say he maintains that freeze and just gonna have such a big lead. Oh. That'd been crazy if he went all in again.
I say I think
Freeze is
Dreadful might
finally
be
broken though.
looking for it, but Yone doesn't have ultimate, so
Yeah, he could
the,
still fight him.
yeah, the Dreadful we know is
I mean,
gonna
he's
look
got
for.
such a big wave.
Oh, but he's
Okay,
got to be careful. As Hecarim
now
is
this
going
is
to
an
Ghost
issue.
and ult, and unfortunately Dreadful is going to fall. But that was Hecarim, Ghost, and ult as well. I'm trying to commit to that. Void Grips are up in about 40 seconds, so he will be back in time for that. But that is definitely putting into the sours the celebratory mood a little bit if you're a Valpo fan.
So, Valpo up just about 400 or 500 gold here. Illinois Tech going to pick up another plate here. And, you know, I think it's great that Valpo is not giving up kills and not, like, losing the CS difference too much. But the amount of, like, turret plates they're giving up in the bot lane is not going to bode well, because even though this ADC doesn't have a bunch of kills, it doesn't matter because they're going to have, like, just as much gold from turret plates.
You're still having plenty of resources go on to Jinx. It's just the resources.
Yeah, I mean, this is
pure gold.
pre 11 minutes, all 5 plates, and then they're going to rotate mid and get more plates there. I mean, that's why the Kalem was so strong last game, and that's why this ADC is so much further ahead in gold. You know, if we take a peek at the gold. Oh, but we do have a bit of an engage in here that's going to stop us. Oh my goodness, Jakimbo able to flash him with the QE. But yeah, we're taking a look at the gold lead here. I'm going to have an 800 gold lead in the bot lane, so not too bad with that kill from Diadem, and then Jakimbo having a slight lead as well. Jungle going the way of Illinois Tech, but the biggest lead going to be in that top lane. All that CS negated by that freeze and zoning this Yone off. But yeah, Valpo overall even in gold. But we do see a lot of that lead in the top lane, in the mid lane, and then for the side of Illinois Tech, a lot of that lead going to be in the jungle and bot support.
Yep, and Super actually is able to start carving, start chipping away, at that lead as he's going to start continue to be a lot more even on CS, a lot more towards like what game one was than game two. Dreadful trying to look to do some damage here, but Yone is just going to be in a spirit form here. And it does look like there is a 4v4 that could be breaking out. Dreadful does not have TP this game, but Yone's is also offline.
Yep.
Oh, and we're going to see that Yone's going to be taking some damage here. Dreadful is going to pop Ghost. He's going to take 2 turret shots here. It was flash for Ghost, so technically a net positive for the side of Valpo. The Law is going to be taking a lot of damage here, but not going to fall. Super is going to be here to try to contest for a 3v3. Not necessarily the most advantageous unless your Super Baron can get if you can get a triple knockup, that could spell disaster towards the side of Illinois. And Diadem's actually able to hit that Q max range and nearly get the Rakan, but Rakan is going to live. But this does mean that Diadem should be able to hopefully try to get at least one more turret plating before plating falls at 14 minutes.
Yep, so Valpo in a pretty solid spot here. One thing to note is Illinois Tech does have the first 2 dragons, going to have a Chemtech soul this game. So Valpo going to need to focus on that dragon spawn in 4 minutes.
And with chem plants, I was gonna say Jinx actually able to take the chem plant back, and is gonna be able to just break this wave. And it does look like as both teams are gonna be preparing for the next objective, which will be Rift Heralded in 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
We are starting to get some vision into this top side of the map on Valpo's side here. This Hecarim's working in here. Does spot out the J4 in their jungle as well.
Is that the law is here as well. Trying to look for a tongue lash, not being able to find anything. Again, Valpo just trying their best with a decent bit of Ezreal, especially with being a poke-heavy champion. They got to be careful that Jinx putting down deep vision and actually going to be able to help start spotting those wards. Um, but yeah, just playing it safe, playing it cautious. There's no reason to get crazy here. DDM's going to start taking a few auto attacks, but Rakan actually taking a lot of damage. We're going to see the flash come out from DDM in response to the Jinx traps. The law is going to be found, and we're going to see the ultimate come off. We're going to see the charm come out from Rakan, but the law is going to be able to find. We're going to see Swain ult. Super is going to fall here. The law indeed, I'm needing to be careful here, trying not to give any more gold to either one of these champions, as that could spell a big problem. We're going to see that the law is going to be low. We're going to see the dreadful is going to come in, going to be able to find some extra damage, and actually be able to find the ultimate onto the Jinx. DDM is going to step slightly too far, though it is going to take some more damage. Dreadful trying to execute the Swain, but not going to be able to find it, and that Swain's going to get a pretty significant injection of gold there, being a net negative for Valpo, but not horribly so.
Yep, and unfortunate play overall for Valpo. I did like that play from the Swain, was kind of able to sacrifice himself for the goodness of the Jinx, being able to stay alive in that fight, get excited. But Swain able to ult with that rally, slow everybody, and just stay in that ult form on top of everybody for so long, was able to do a lot of damage. And then Dreadful, unfortunately, just wasn't able to find the execute. Because there was a second there where, you know, Darius in that situation can get a triple kill. But wasn't able to find it that time. Rift Herald is up now. Do have Dragon in a minute 30 as well.
We are going to see that Swain is going to be going bot side, but Swain does have teleport, so if Valpo is going to want to take this Rift Herald, they are going to have to take it quick. Otherwise, it is going to be a 5v5. We are going to see, though, that NECC is going to be up 2,000 gold.
Whoa, 4-man Yone with the Hecarim ult over top, and that is going to be very scary for Valpo. But Hecarim actually going down first and getting shut down.
Valpo needed to play this a lot slower here because a lot of health is gone from a lot of their members.
Yeah, I would say, you know, just disengage at this point. Although, you know, some big ults out for them, as Valpo still has a lot available, but a lot of members very low, so got to be very careful.
Swain is going to be able. We're going to see
the engage.
Super is going to go in, but he's not going to find anything, and Valpo is going to give Jinx a triple, which is going to be very scary to see here.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see him really just kind of reset there. It's unfortunate.
Reset, give the Rift Herald. It's you got something out of it.
That was such a huge engage from Illinois Tech, and I was shocked that Valpo didn't get like team wiped off that initial engage. But ultimately, is going to be a 3-for-1, and they are going to pick up the feats with that Rift Herald. Are going to be even in kills now, 8-8, but Valpo going to ultimately be down 3k gold, and that's the number that really matters. But are going to have Dragon up now. Valpo going to have all members respawn now, working their way down to the spot lane, and we'll see what they end up doing here. This could be a you know, a huge pivotal point in the game here. If there's another team fight that breaks out here, it could be a major decider for how this game is going to go.
Law's going to look to get some extra damage in. Not going to be able to hit it, but not going to do too much to that Swain. Swain's already kind of starting to get a little bit scary with that health stacking. But I also know that the Kench is going to be the same way. Yone actually going to be slightly out of position, but he's going to be able to maneuver himself to get out just fine.
Valpo with river control here, going to be in a good spot altogether as with the team. But Illinois Tech waiting out. Some of these cooldowns do have Yone ult available now, and going to have Hecarim ult. Swain using ult now. Valpo trying to disengage from it, and Jakimbo getting killed by the Jinx, just kind of being stuck in a 1v1 there, and Jinx going to get excited, going to pick up a double kill off of that. Dreadful being on this Hecarim. We'll see how it goes. Does have ult available. Will get that Q. Will they get the execute? Doesn't. Not able to find that kill, especially with the Triumph and the heal. And Valpo going to lose 3 members and Soul Point here. So this could spell disaster for Valpo. Like I said, that was going to kind of be a pivotal fight, how that one went. And Jakimbo not having enough items or damage yet to take out this Jinx. And Jinx with 2 items with those boots. I mean, when they're able to just sit there and get their DPS off and get excited, it's always not going to go well for Valpo in a team fight like that.
Valpo here's gonna have to open up their mics a little bit and get to talking about what's gonna be their next play in order to get back into this game. Again, nothing's ever over until the Nexus falls. We've seen way too many, both professional and collegiate play of esports, to know that anything can happen. One mistake from one teammate can make the biggest difference in determining
Yep.
what's going to happen
And this
here.
lead isn't, insurmountable. It's 5K. They got 3 drags. They're up 5K. It's a huge lead, but it's definitely throwable. Otacon is up. Next objective will be Otacon available now, but also the Baron in 5 minutes, and then Soul for Illinois Tech going to be up in 4 minutes. So that's going to be where Valpo is going to be forced to contest an objective, is in that 4 minutes. But taking a look at Valpo here, what can they really do to come back in this game?
I was going to say, I think I think the one thing I know that they can't give up is their CS. Almost about half of their laters half of the team is positive in CS. Although Hacker's actually going to be caught out here slightly, but it's not going to be able to find anything. Law does have to be careful here, and Law is actually going to be able to get out right on the edge of that. Right on the edge of that. We're going to see the super. Oh, we are going to see the ultimate come in from Hacker trying to disrupt. The Law is going to be taking a lot of damage right here. But Law is actually going to flash and not falling right now, taking a lot of damage and is going to fall. Dreadful trying to find something, but not having enough damage here, and we're going to see that the turret does execute on the Darius, or does execute the Hecarim, giving Dreadful a kill, but just not enough here, as that Jinx is starting to be able to kind of just walk away and make this her game, and we're all living in it.
Ezreal wasn't able to pick up that mid turret, and he may go down to the Yone. Unfortunately, Jinx picks up another kill onto the Victor and is now going to have 10 kills with 2.5 items here. I mean, this team is doing so well playing around this Jinx and just helping her, with finding that CC, with peeling, and just kind of allowing this Jinx to just sit there and free fire. And I think what Valpo needs to do in this team fights is get on the Jinx, whether it's Tom Kench, J4 ulting, or Darius sprinting at the Jinx. That's their true damage source, and it's going to be tough now because Swain is very tanky, does a lot of damage. Hecarim is going to do a lot of damage, has a lot of gold income from CS. And then Yone, once he's getting to that 2-3 items, is going to be an issue as well. And then they have a lot of peel just from their con, truly, but also having Flash and Ghost. So Valpo in a sticky situation, but what they can't do is let this Jinx just get free auto attacks in team fights.
That's because that's what started to spell the disaster. Is the Law was taking a lot of damage, and the Law looked like they were fine, but one final auto attack from the Jinx was able to start to get excited, and as soon as Jinx starts getting excited, that amount of damage from her attack speed and movement speed is just absolutely crazy. It starts making it so that she really can't be locked down unless she doesn't know where she's going, and most Jinx players, when we get up to this level of play, know exactly how to pilot a get excited Jinx.
Yep, so are going to have this Soul for Illinois Tech be spawning in 1 minute, so that is going to be an objective that Valpo is going to have to contest if they want a chance in this game. I don't think you win if you give Soul here. You could give Soul and go Elder, but I think, Valpo is going to be forced to contest, and that's what we'll likely see, as we do see Dreadful back, probably going to start making his way over. And Valpo trying to secure some positioning, some vision in their jungle here.
But Valpo does now have to be careful, as their top inhibitor is broken. There are 2 teleports that could happen if that super minion wave is able to start doing some extra damage. And we're going to see some pings. We're going to see that Hecarim is going to look to maybe engage there, but not going to be able to find anything. A lot of pings going out by both sides about what they need to do next. Valpo needing to be careful now, as those super minions are going to start doing a lot of damage. Law taking a decent bit too from that Jinx. Actually going to be enough to get that Jinx gone. Dreadful trying to do exactly what we were saying to get that Jinx, but not going to be able to find anything. Super Bear is going to lock down the sway, but it's not going to be enough, as Yone now is actually starting to become a problem in and of themselves, and Jinx is continuing to do more and more damage. Jakimbo is going to drop down his field. They are going to take the catch trick. He is going to dodge the dragon, but the only problem is that because of that super minion wave, we're going to see the TP come out from Swain and Yone. Jakimbo trying to fight off his best, but it does look like that the inhibitor and Nexus turret are going to fall.
And that will do it for week 2 of the NECC. Illinois Tech able to take this one 2-1 over Valpo. Great games all around. Unfortunately, Valpo not able to win this series, but don't worry, we'll be back next week, and hopefully they can turn it around and bounce back after this one. But we do have a lot of games in store for you this week. We got Smash tomorrow versus Murray State. Thursday, we got some Rocket League at 8 p.m. Friday, we got some Overwatch, and then Saturday, we got a full slate for you. Smash at 9 a.m., Smash at 12 a.m. versus Manchester in person. Overwatch at 1 versus Manchester in person, and then C-Law once again. You'll see this team next game will be Saturday at 3. So a full week ahead of us. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. My name is Henry Speedy Kill Ninja,
And I'm Adam Monsieur, and thank you again for tuning in. And we will you guys will catch us live tomorrow for another game. But with that being said, go Beacons.